Okay, first do as I say, let's go. He held out his hand in front of him with a shy expression. I can't die, so don't be afraid. Then, it's a blue light coming out of your hands. I'll start later. Assel shouted his hand towards Ronan, who was standing. The invisible hand. I was surprised to see the lights around me. The light flowed around Ronan's feet. Make your feet fly. Look, it's much better. But Ronald was floating in the air laughing excitedly. More than I thought. Even though there's a lack of altitude and balance. This feeling is still very similar to that time, in battle with the 2Us. That's what made me able to fight as a peer with that bastard. It's spiritual power. Spiritual power is a rare ability. It's even counted as rare among the 5 wizards. What this means, he will become one of the most important factors to be able to assist in the battle against a Hoat. Let's start like this. Assel closed his eyes shivering and told Ronan and DTO. Ronan, it's getting a little hard for me to control. He drew his sword from above and looked at Assel. Can you come down now? Hold on a little more. I have one more thing to check. Assel frowned worried for Ronan. I'll get down to what you mean by so. Ronan raised his sword high. You slash a hole in the air. Isel rolled her eyes when she saw his actions. What is this? Ronan jumped from the sky without getting Sao. Ronan just cut his monoline Sao. He asked Ronan what he had done. What did you just do? You're welcome. It's just an acrobatic way of moving that I've known how to do since forever. One of his punches went straight to Axel's head. What do you mean by aerobically moving? This is the first time I've seen anyone cut the monoline. Let it go because I don't know why. Ronald pulled back his sword. I thought I'd find out what this skill is. It's a whole page of homework that I had to do. The sword reflects the image of a giant. Alright, the reason his sword had an impact on him. Maybe that's why Sao. I can think about this slowly. So now Ronald picked up his backpack. There's work to be done. Whatever it is, you've already passed it. Axel and Assel picked up a bag that he answered. Take this and follow me. Before the moon completely disappears, there's something we need to do. He grinned and said late at night like this. What do you mean? Under the moon Ronan's eyes glowed. This could be the first page. In Ronan's autobiography. It's the greatest book in the whole empire. You shine from the moon down and into the murky forest. There's only Axel and Ronan in the forest, the Filian Academy. You're walking and breathing hard. I hear you wrong, Ronan. We're going to the Filian Academy, where it's all members. The elite of the empire was there. Ronald glanced at Assel to answer his question. You and I believe it, so don't ask again. It's too much trouble. He looked at Assel's face and asked again. Why don't you want to go? No, that's not the point. You are confused to answer. You're talented in martial arts, so you should be fine. But I don't know anything. Ronan's eyes looked at Axel. To turn aggressive. Besides, I'm both cowardly and misguided, Axel. You want to continue living like that. It startled you to hear that. Assel froze when she heard what Ronan said. With his inherent talent, you're wasting it by making fun of the world. Is that really the life you want? Ronan crossed his arms in front of his chest and closed his eyes. To be honest, you have a really stupid kind of mindset. You're cowardly and you're wrong. Ronan's words, like a knife to Axel's chest. You become a crying baby and cry for all kinds of reasons, and you're a scared 7. But that's okay. Because you can still change from now on. But, the time that's gone can't be taken back. And one day, you'll regret it. The way I used to be. Image. Ronan holds a bloodstained sword in the middle of the battlefield. In my previous life. He put his hand on Axel's shoulder. What do you think? Have you changed your mind, Ronan? Suddenly your cheeks are red. Oh, my God, Ronan. Axel covered his mouth with his hand. You look at me with very emotional eyes, worried about someone like me. That's all the time. I won't force you because this is your life. So if you want, you can go back to that lifestyle. Then Axel screamed as he watched Ronaldo turn his back on him. I'm busy now, so wait, Ronaldo. I want to change again. Ronaldo smiled when he heard that. I'm going to Philly with you. So teach me what I need to do. On the outside you don't care, but in my heart I am glad. Okay, this is the first time you show your masculinity, Assel. So for the first step of the great masculine Assel. Let's start right away. Ronan's face was visibly haunted and gloating. When I turned my back on you, as I predicted. The fire made the surrounding air very warm. Assel was alarmed to see the light in the forest. Ronan with Assel hiding in the bushes whispered to each other do. Ronan, that's it. That's my first step, of course. Next to the fire is a goblin. That's the best opponent I've ever found. To be able to bring all of your talents raw. The goblin is resting on a large rock. It's a moon goblin. There are a lot of babies around. She's lying on the sleeping ground. He's also the leader. Ronald laughed like a flower, banging on Asel's shoulder, cheering him on. When you look at the situation like that, you are scared. What do you think, Asel? Not very great, somehow. Ronald's eyes lit up as if he had found his prey. Let's get started, shall we? Adorable 6. Ronan and Asel snooping in the grass. Moon love. Goblins often appear in this area. Most people easily distinguish between them with normal goblins, through yellow skin and deformed body. But the real characteristic of the moon is, they're especially crazy about gold and all kinds of jewels. They like to ambush traders and rob them. They collect all the stolen items in one place. And hold a festival. The light of jewels glowed in the night sky. On a full moon night like today. Asel trembled with fear when he heard it. So the real reason we're here is to be right. As Ronan's face showed interest. We're going to steal all that gold and silver. Asel looked at the situation and said, I've never heard of it. Goblin, put all the treasures in one place and celebrate. He opened the empty backpack inside Ra. But how do you know that? I have my own way. I can't tell her I saw her in a previous life, while wandering around. Axel's arm around his shoulder confused him. You just need to use your control. From my distance, just put all that treasure in this bag. While they are still asleep. It's easy for two people to face each other, isn't it? It doesn't sound easy. If I make a mistake, can wake them up. Asel thought of the prospect of the goblin waking up. That's a big problem. You're afraid to ask Ronan again, which makes you very upset. This is too dangerous. We should think about it. You're such a coward. Ronan started explaining the theory to Asel. To get into the Filian Academy, we need two things. The first is money. We need to pay those crazy tuition fees. The second is practical experience. Money is a problem, but experience is more important. You know, in Philly, it's all precious. They have been trained professionally since birth. Do you want to beat those guys? There's only one way, Axel. You threatened Axel. It was a risk. The goblins are a perfect match. We'll get both money and experience. One arrow hits two targets. Aseo sat down crying into Rose. I said, wrong, or do you have a better idea? No, just Isai. I'll give you a pat on the back. Let's develop. The moon shines on the foliage in the forest. Gold things are flying in the air. And then it fell straight into the bag that Ronan had already opened. More and more things fall into the box, a little bit more. Just a little more. Asel bulge. She used her best to move things into her pocket. Okay. Just like that. Listening to Ronan's orders, the items immediately fall down. I laughed when I saw each one in my pocket. That's great. Ronan looked inside the bag. This is the last bag. 2 bags are full of pressure. The gold and silver treasures are all full. Ronald was delighted. He turned Axel's head like a crow's nest. I said Axel's experience is number 1. That's right, we did it. Ronald looked at him smiling with satisfaction. I'm actually not that confident about how quickly she's adapted. Asel gave a satisfied smile. She's smarter than I thought she was. You don't know behind your back. Ronald smiled like the devil. I found the wrong guy. He put his hand in his pocket and said, okay, the bags are full of gold. Really, it's done. Ronan answered you with a bag. There's nothing else to do, come back. Before trouble comes. A crow rushed forward. The poachers are chasing that damn crow. They're screaming, you two little kids. Ronan with Axel. When he got ready to go, he heard a scream. Should look back. Stay there. Ronan wondered. What kind of crazy people are buzzing in the middle of the night like this? Because the sound is too loud. So it made the goblin leader wake up. What's going on? It's looking towards the ocean. The treasure is this late. Where's that nose? Goblin. All the treasures in the ocean are gone. What is this? Where are my precious jewels? So he screamed. Wake up the rest of you. They started to gather together. Where are the thieves? Where are they? The head goblin found out. They looked at Ronan and Asel left. 2 people confused. Then the goblins found out. The goblins roared furiously. They rushed towards the 2. It's not okay, Asel, I'm scared. You're so scared that you fall to the ground. Ronan saw that and prepared his posture. Be ready to fight. I knew right away it couldn't be done. He sat on the ground looking up at Ronan. Axel trembled with fear. You desperately ask me now, so Ronan. Should we throw these bags away and run? There's no such thing. Slowly draw your sword. What kind of tuition are you going to pay without this money? How are you going to make this money? But it doesn't matter now. The goblins are coming. Their eyes were red as if they wanted to eat fresh. Swallow Ronan and Axel alive. You screamed to hang on to Ronan. They came, men, they came, Ronan. I looked at my sword thinking. A forged longsword. From this inexpensive metal with this weight and hardness. Ronan's eyes were on the sharp blade. It will probably cut 15 times. They have about 30. Their sharp nails rush towards you. Asshole in the back, Ronan shouted. Ronan's eyes darkened. He held up his sword and felt the situation around him. Careful, 15 puffs. Ronan pulled out his sword. With a single stroke of the sword, you cut off the goblins' heads. The blood from their heads is spilling. Axel rolled his eyes in wonder. Watch the goblins' heads leave her. Ronan's sword is covered in their blood. Ronan's eyes were sharp. It's like a wolf hunting. There are 14 more. Except 7. The crows screamed their hoax in the late night. The sword was finally launched at the same time. Ronan breathed out an hour. This is the last one. It's not that hard. Axel looked at the scene in front of her and couldn't believe it. It's impossible. I just witnessed something like this. Think back to Ronan's last ecstasy. You're very surprised. He cut off the heads of 3 goblins. With a sword. And there's goblins coming from the distance. Ronan had just disappeared and reappeared in an instant. Just a few swords. Ronan was lightning quick to deal with the bad goblins. Axel couldn't help but swallow. I can see the shadow in the distance. Axel is a little agitated. I can't believe I saw a scene like this again. Ronan turned to Axel. What are you doing? Continue to sit in poetry. Axel was then startled. Sorry, I don't know. He picked up the sword and Ronan said, I'm not sorry. Bring your own stuff. Laughing about going home. The night covers the silent forest. Group. Ronan is still on his way to a new location. Clapping my aching shoulder. You are really tired. I thought you two could travel comfortably. Who expected this to be so difficult? Axel next door is not much better. Put your hands on your shoulders. Ronan is thinking. There are some goblins. And my muscles are aching. I'm still growing up. Go home, I have to increase my physical exercise. Then an SEO asked Ronan. What was that horrible scream? Ronan replied, I don't know. I thought I heard 7 screams. I don't know where it came from. The plan to steal their stuff was foiled. I'm not happy to say it's midnight. I don't know what else. Those crazy people, just wait. I will definitely make them. You have to pay for your behavior. You don't notice. Now there's an arrow pointing at them. Immediately, the red arrow was launched without warning. It's flying very fast towards Axel. But when you feel something, you come back. The arrow was about to hit me. As fast as lightning, Ronan reacted. Hold the arrow with your hand before Axel could move. You scream. Damn it. Axel is now aware of the situation. She was afraid to shout an arrow out. Where did this thing suddenly come from? Ronan said cautiously. Maybe it's from the damned forest. Why are there so many crazy people there? Suddenly I caught to people's eyes. There are 2 strangers behind it. Who are you two? What does the black-haired guy say? It's people and it's kids. Quick words irritate Ronaldo successfully. He laughed and walked towards Ronaldo. Sorry, kids. We saw something rustling in the distance. I thought it was a monster. He just said. Keep your eyes on Ronaldo's bag full of treasure. He's guilty. Oh, my God. We almost killed a man. And then I'll flash my eyes again, and I'll signal with the name behind me. He seems to care about the pain. But before I could finish, Ronan cut me off. You expose. Bullshit. You can't even hide your eyes anymore. I was quickly exposed by 2 bewildered men. Ronan continued. Stop the nonsense and answer. His eyes flashed a yellow light that looked extremely dangerous. Who are you threatening? 2 guys look at that look and get goosebumps. Let's shout for an hour. The black-haired guy's trying to be harmless. Laughing towards Ronan. It's really our fault to think about it. We forgot to introduce Xiao. Sorry, kid. We just said he snuck out the sword. Then swung towards Ronan screaming to introduce the Calibero. Ronan muttered Calibero. Then, as fast as lightning, he held up his fist, take his arm and make him cry out in pain. Then quickly throw a hook under the jaw. Make him roll his eyes and spray blood. Ronan made fun of the name of the shit. The blonde saw her friend being taken down quickly. Go up, the son of a bitch. Axel stood on one side watching. When you see it, you call out your name. Ronan uses his magic at the same time. She screamed warning of danger. Then you use the invisible hand, controlling the blonde. I can see my body is not moving. He screams something he can move. And Ronald said, oh, Axel. You praised me for doing well. And then kicked the knife out of the blonde's hand with a shot. Quickly grab the knife. Then you unleash invisible slashes. The blonde hasn't realized anything yet. His body received a series of slashes. He can only say that you are a... I can't finish the sentence yet. He collapsed with a cry of pain. Watch the body fall in front of you. Asiel startled Dan cried. You're afraid to ask Ronan, is he dead? Ronan calmly replied, dead so. I have to spare my life for those who want to kill me. You didn't listen to what they were saying. They're Calibro ACO. He explained, let's go poaching. Abduction of live traitors. That group of people can commit any crime. It's the most vicious criminal group in the Empire. So you know. You said you gave the black guy a knife. Death. If it wasn't for me, your organs would have been damaged. Take it. Today will also be your secret day of mourning. Assel helplessly couldn't refute anything that screamed. That doesn't let you go on. Ronan said he knew who they were. But let them continue to live and to sin. It's stupid. Suddenly the bag moved. Ronan just told Axel. Stop messing around and get your stuff. The bag jumped up and made him stop. I saw the bag constantly moving. Ronan's wondering what's wrong with this bag. Why does it move? Axel replied that the two Kia brought it here. Is it a hunted animal? I took off Ronan's bag and I was speculating. We'll open the bag right here. Just open the bag. Suddenly, there are blue eyes looking at you. A black shadow soared up, accompanied by the sound of the forest. You can make two people react. I looked at the strange blue bird in front of me. The two of you clumped together, Ronald stammered. What's wrong with this chicken? The blue chicken has 8 feathers, it's blue. The chicken didn't understand what Ronan was talking about. It's called Chip, Chip. Axel admires to hands watching it excitedly, says Ronan. It was the first time I saw a green bird. You answer me, too. But those handcuffs are Calibro SAOs. A sturdy handcuff made of iron shows up. Hunting cuffs of Calibro. It confuses mana and restrict the movement of the handcuffed person. Ronald pondered. I thought they rarely used it, or just use it when catching magical creatures. So maybe the blue bird. Ronald cast a spell on the green bird. It's flying, and suddenly it answers. Suddenly the blue bird screamed. They don't seem to believe what's going on. It screams, it's finally connected. Axel fearfully embraced Ronan, shivering, asked. The bird just talked. I can't help but push your face out. You think it's real, it's a message magic. Ronan thought he'd just flown out and connected. He looked at what lay on the ground and continued to speculate. Maybe that bag can block the mana. You must be the owner of this bird. And in some magical way. Your voice is transmitted to a mysterious person. He's right, my name is Varong. I'm currently studying the occult. I am not a guard of Mappet. No matter how many times we try to communicate but still can't, I'm going to report back fortunately. Sorry as you are. Ronan pushed Axel aside, and he answered boldly. We're just passing by. We just fought the poachers. Those who caught the bird. And then this is too bloody to describe. I remember when I fought them. I don't know what to say. He looked at Mark Pet and said, we can save him. He suddenly exclaimed, poaching. Do we think about, but I can't believe this is actually happening. I thank you very much. I don't know how to pay back. Abel seems to have gotten used to it. He looked at the bird with interest. No need. But how do I return the bird to you? Looks like he's tied up, so he's tired. Ronald looked at the cuffs at the bird's feet. I wonder if this thing can fly. Takia replied, well, that's probably okay. The homesickness dream is so clear that if you let it go. He didn't finish the sentence. Ronald drew his sword. That's okay. He struck a sword. Fast and tidy, before the bird's sudden and frightened gaze. He could only cry for a few hours. Soon the iron chain broke. Put your sword in its sheath and tell it to go back to your father. Don't worry about the green bird. Ronaldo knows in his eyes. You are like the Prince of Love. In his eyes there was a sparkling light. It looks at the drowning. He called out the chip. Ronan looked at him wondering. He's got his ass in my face, that's why. Ronan looked at the bird in front of him. It's hard to see why. He said he wants you to pluck a hair. Before it flies away. Looks like this kid wants to see you again. After you pluck the bird's hair, it can lead the subject to you. It's like a compass. Have you plucked your hair? If there is a middle, remember to visit Mark Pet and me. I will repay you. Said the bird with a golden seal flew away. I looked at Theo with admiration. It's fast. I wonder what your brother is holding. Ronaldo said. He looked down at his hand. Now I see in my hand something round. In the middle of an empty forest, I look at the hand wondering what. A few days later, in a place like a barracks or a marketplace, people are constantly moving goods. A merchant holding a necklace of blue gems. Sophia takes up I's review. And then the commendation card. The value and wonder of this piece of jewelry. It's a precious thing. I'll give you 20 gold. Carabel Trade Union owner Duan Carabel speaks out. The things you bring out are all valuables. I'm lucky today. I can find clients like you. Axel hiding behind Ronan's arm listening to you gleefully. Finally someone understands. The other traders are all scammers. I had an argument with that merchant a while ago. There are 5 gold pieces in this. Have you opened your eyes, old man? He was upset about what you said. Axel's got to get Ronan to calm down. Ronan. You sighed in anger. I was angry. Fortunately, I found a merchant. Eyes like you. It's been a long time coming around. Carabel fun shaking hands with you, thanks. I'm glad to hear you say that. Axel took a deep breath. He asked again. Do you want to price anything else? Ronan put his hand in his pocket and got something. Answer me, is this okay? No. I'm not going to sell it. I'm just curious to know what it is. What you're bringing out is pretty much the same color as the bank. It's sparkling and oval. He just saw it and had to adjust his glasses. Ronald looked at that thing and remembered me. A green bird or something. Leave this behind. This egg. At first I thought it was in my hand. But without having to remember, at that time, I was still yelling, how dare this chicken repay me with this? And to test it, Ronan shouted and threw it at the rock. Real business. I thought I threw it in a rock to see if I could. Surprisingly, the egg even broke the rock. And I know it's hard. Both of you sprayed. Look at the crumbling rock, Ronaldo. He looked at the egg. I don't know if this is an egg or something, but it's the product of a mysterious creature. It's rare. It could be a treasure trove. And Carabel looked at it for a long time. Serious face says, this textured color. Don't tell me Ronan's face is fresh looking at him. And soon after, he said a green horseshit. You've got your face covered. Ronald reached for the egg in denial. Of course not. He scratched his head and laughed. I don't know what it is. I think it's a rare thing. Why don't you give it to a professional? That valuation. I put it back in my pocket with a sigh. I'm curious now. I probably haven't sold it yet. Axel thought closely. So that's a hard lump. Ronan continues the story. Do you sell books about Filion? He asked again. Filion student Asia. He turned his hand to Axel and explained correctly. We're going to enter the competition. Filion doesn't know much about it. He sort of caught the point, excitedly. Enter at the right time. My daughter is also preparing for the entrance exam. Maybe it'll help you too. He must be coming soon. A female voice came from the distance. What's going on, Dad? Dare AI. So Carabel and the Kia guys come back. He's smiling, he's back. This is my only daughter Maria. The girl with long hair blowing in the wind. Look at them. Ronan startled. Maria is she. Carabel. Call her back. Maria, say hello. These are the big guys I just traded. She asked suddenly. Why are these babies? He heard that, and I yelled. What kind of talk does this kid have? I'm sorry, ma'am, he grew up in the trade union, so he's a little harsh. Seal hands are not good. But Ronan sure is. You haven't asked the question, you've seen me walk. He walked over to her and said, are you Maria? She looked at him and replied, what is it? Ronan went on to say Maria has a lotus middle name, right? I can admit it, but I know. Ronan sweats incomprehensible. You look so much like her. But people I know. I'm going to ask you one more question. Come here, you twirl your ear. She comes close. Wait, what do you want to ask? Ronan whispered, do you have that down there? That bird, she's looking at you like a retard. What the hell did I just hear? Ronan seemed to be seriously waiting for an answer. Maria mused on her thoughts of the subquarter. You don't seem to understand. Angry face and Chen entered. No matter how you look. You don't seem to have that. Maybe the old man. There was another child that he didn't know about. Yeah. Thinking. I just looked over and ate a woman in the face. Maria shouted angrily. Shut up, psychopath. Ronan even speculated about this slap. It feels so familiar. It's that person, Cow Maria Sen. Maria that, when I was a military discipline in a place called Amaklan, Maria is in charge of the military. With a great way of doing things, same open-minded personality, you can talk to anyone without hesitation. Maria is an admirable person. But when we talk about your, in the middle of the bow story, Maria became unusually angry again. And there was a puzzling act. It's slapping my face. I've always been curious about why. If I could see Maria again, I want to be asked why. But that opportunity never came. Mary died before I could ask. I can't believe I found the answer here. Count Maria. You are a Sa woman. She looked at you and laughed at you. That's not good enough. Then I'll give you one more blow. Ronald knocked her on the head in a fit of rage. Stop this girl. If you see me give you one, you will be pushed by the water. I let you slap me because I was wrong. But I won't. And yet, Maria put her head in his chin. Scream. What if I hit you a second time, you idiot? What are you going to do? To people holding each other's hair, Ronan is full of shit, crazy. They both died fighting each other. There are 2 others. When I saw this, I didn't know what to say. Don't fight anymore. They quickly ran out and stopped the other 2. A while later. What's wrong with these 2 guys? They just fought as if you were alive and dead. Maria rubbed her hair and asked, so this is what's left for you to use? Ronaldo needs to check if he is okay. Axel watched them think. But now Ronald's talking to Maria. If it's not okay, I'll buy something else. And Axel looked at the screen in front of him puzzled. They're getting along again. Maria pulled out her sword and asked him. 3 swords and a wand. Why did they give you 3 swords? Bring them all. Theo is not very difficult, Sal. You casually say. Scrub, just in case, I'm a bit violent with the sword. Yeah. How are they? Maria commented yes. They are and Theo, but this black sword is the best. It's pretty solid. So it's an item that knight's reputation is often sought after. I don't know how rough you are with your sword. But this sword can't be broken. She gave me the sword. Ronan gave his hand to the Thotto. So this is the black sword. It's been my favorite weapon in the past. Maria continued to speak, but this wand has a magic stone attached. It's good to leave this to you. Maybe this girl is a shaman. Maria smiled, then looked at Axel, and he nodded. She asked what kind of magic she used. Axel shy answer magic remote control. Maria suddenly praised the remote control, impressive. If done well, you might even get a scholarship. Axel rubbed his head laughing except for real Sal. Maria looked at me and now the problem is. I will show you. What technique is in the practice test? Ronaldo itching technical questioner. She used to explain, you don't know. Getting to the Philippines. You need to impress the professors. And show them your technique in the exam. Practice is of course the theoretical exam a very difficult. It's not comparable to a practice exam. So the point I want to make is. If you do well on the practice test, you will pass. In other words, if you can't prove your worth, you should forget about going to the academy. Ronaldo took a breath. A swordsman just needs to be good at swordsmanship. God. So people often show what Maria says. Most of the nobles showed off the secrets of their families. And most of the other fighters and candidates, it shows the mana fighting technique of their personal. Ronan cut the weight mana. Young swordsmen of this age can use mana. I'm not a Sal magician. Maria looked at me suddenly. What are you talking about? If you're a future student of Filion, the use of them is obvious. You can also feel the mana. And with that amount of mana, you can use it in combat. It's the most basic of the basics. That expression of yours is Sal. Ronan looked at her full of question marks. Just like hearing it for the first time, she shivers pointing at you. Don't tell me you don't know how to feel mana. Then Ronald asked. What, isn't it the same as using aura? Maria shocked full episode. She covered her face and she mumbled, oh my god. I'm talking to a guy like this. And he's babbling about getting into the Philippines. Aura and mana are similar. How can you say that? Ronan put his hand on his neck and replied softly. Maybe I already knew about it. You're serious about this? Maria stood up and said, it's no use, get out now. Ronan looked at her wondering why all of a sudden. She didn't answer, you keep saying. With back, can I borrow these swords? I left my sword at the forge. Rona looked at Maria holding the sword. I just know what to say. Wait, why are you so natural? If you damage my sword, why? Maria smiled and walked away. Don't worry, because the game will be over before that happens. If that happens, I'll pay you 2 or 3 times as much, okay? I can't breathe. Maria is looking at me seriously, so don't talk nonsense. Follow me, I'll give you special training. Mana is the source of natural power. It's like air. It's a kind of natural energy, it exists anywhere in the world. However, that doesn't mean that AI can use it. To use mana, we need to see and feel the mana inside us. And can be used. Feel mana, to get to this stage. We need to practice our natural talent. There are many personal reasons that can affect. But it usually takes a year of practice so we can start to feel it. And the future students of Filion. Everyone has passed this stage, after practicing mana technique. Each of them applies to the Philippines. Do you understand now? Don't say feel. You can't even tell the difference between aura and mana. I want to go to the Philippines. It was pointless. Maria looked at him with a sword. She sighed, okay fine. From his point of view, aura was also a kind of mana. But the difference between them, it's like heaven and earth. Ronan asked what was different. To all the famous geniuses, strenuous training for a minimum of 15 non-stop spills. Then they can realize the power of nature. That's aura. Maria asked again, did you understand anything? Ronaldo replied, well, Not really. Sometimes in my brother's memory.